going to be a lot of advertising in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's already happening to a certain extent.
That's definitely happening. It's happening on our phones all the time. But to answer I want your opinion on my question, though, more specifically, like if everyone could do everything at the highest level, right? If they were just given this like ability, then what is special? You see what I'm saying? And how how do you progress forward as a society where like people are still identified as special? Not that you need to, I guess, in a sense, but I don't know. It's like if everyone could do it, let's say at some point everyone had that and everyone could just be like, I could play Beethoven's music, then Beethoven's not Beethoven, it's everyone.
It's an interesting conversation because is everyone special? You know, like my belief, my personal belief is that everyone has a godlike feature within them. Everyone has like a little chunk of divinity. It's kind of our job for us to try to find that. I don't know exactly how someone finds it, but finding the things that you're good at, I think those are all things that can be really helpful with it. But
yeah,
I don't know what the answer is on like having, you know, if everyone's skilled, what is the difference? I guess the difference could be creativity.
Yeah, I think it then comes down to perspective. I think then your own perspective on how you take, which then just goes back to the same thing in general in life now that's relevant to success and having success or succeeding at a high level is what you do with it. Because just because you receive information and you play like Beethoven, I guess that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like create another song that's like just as much of a hit, you know, or like maybe, I don't know, like, but then again, that's different because if we start talking about fighting, let's say I downloaded my ability to like be an expert at this and an expert at that, and then I already had the physical strength capabilities, then wouldn't I just smoke everyone?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then it's like, that's like more physical application of like this sort of downloading of expertise, we'll call it. But yeah, I just keep going in circles with it where I'm like, then we're all just the same at some point. If that ability is there to download. And because dude, I feel like if there's a device in my brain that's reading signals or like nervous system, like cues, and it's creating movement on like a platform, how could the inverse not be a thing?
I think we're simultaneously getting smarter and dumber at the same time. So like, we don't need, like, I have no idea how I got here today. Like I just used the Lyft app, you know, and I got here, but I don't really know. I know sort of where I am.
Yeah.
And I know sort of where I came from, but I don't need to know a map. I don't need to be able to open up a Thomas guide and be like, oh, I'm going to get to Bradley's this way. And so I think simultaneously we're losing some of those aspects. And I think what could potentially be the divider would be the people that not only learned how to fight, but could actually fight. Not somebody that knows about fishing, but somebody that can actually fish, someone that can actually hunt, someone that actually knows how to like skin an animal, somebody that knows how to fix things. And I think maybe those things would be a dividing factor because at some point.
But what if you could just download that information and you just knew it?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, but there's going to be people with this like weird intangible. Like there's people that just sort of know how to fix stuff. I know you can learn it, but I think that might be a little bit of a separator, is the person that's a little bit more creative and the person that is maybe a little bit more resourceful and the person that's willing to do it, because just because you learned it doesn't mean you're willing to do it. So you can learn everything about fighting, but if you don't go out on a jog once in a while, or you don't exercise in other ways, it would be, if you only fought, you'd probably build up enough conditioning to where that might be okay. But if you're only like reading about it and you're only just practicing it a little bit, I don't think that's going to really be a thing that would have you be expert level, because you only like know it, but you're not actually doing it.
Applying it.
You got to apply it. And I think that is like, what's the biggest problem with people being fat these days? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially nowadays, because everyone I feel like knows to a very vague idea, but enough to make it happen or not. Like, don't eat.
So people have the knowledge, and how come they're
not applying it?
But everyone's in a different spot. You mentioned earlier about perspective. Your perspective, your interpretation. If you start rattling off how you eat, and especially how you ate years ago, and how you kind of built yourself up, and now you maintain this physique, you would lose somebody after talking for 2-3 minutes. Not because of what you said was complicated, just because they don't want to do it.
Yeah,
You would be
it's
saying
so funny. I've had
you'd
so
be saying too many things. Their eyes get glazed over.
Dude,
You can see
I've
it.
had so many conversations with so many like really well-known influencers who aren't in the fitness space. And I'll have these conversations because they'll be like, yo, bro, how do I have like every single one hits me up because I'm kind of like in both spaces. And I'm like, yo, it's like this and that. And like, you could tell like a lot of it at the time, they're like exactly what you said. They start going like, And they start looking like, not that they're disinterested, but they're just like, it sounds like a lot of work. And they're just minds like shuts off. Like I was on the phone with my buddy Gideon the other day. He's talked to me multiple times about losing weight. And he talked to me again and he was like, no, but they always appreciate the motivation. He was a super grateful guy. But same thing, it's like, yo, you know what you got to do. You've done it. He even has been in a place where he had already kind of been a gym bro and kind of fell out of it somehow for content. And you're right. People always know the truth. It's just like, I guess this is it. This is it. The difference between people who really succeed, and I think even if you download information and had it like that, it's the people who are willing to actually apply it still every day moving forward. Because those are the same people that, whether they got the download or not, they wanted something and they worked for it every day in some way, and that's why they have it.
Apply it and learn from it, and then also, let's not forget, it's not just you in this world, you know. So you learning a lot of stuff is really helpful. But you being able to interact with other people is massive.
Yeah.
The impact that you have on people, the way you talk to people, the way you share stuff with people is huge. And for myself personally, I have worked on this for a while now. I worked on equanimity. I worked on trying to have like a balanced mind.
Is that what equanimity means?
I think so.
I don't know.
So I have
It's the first time I've ever heard that word.
Yeah, equanimity. Yeah, basically having a balanced mind. Even in the face of adversity, even in the face of like, you know, I don't know, I get a text on my phone that something crazy happened and I don't just spike the phone on the ground or
being able to,
I just tell you, hey,
that's
man,
a dope word.
Bradley, something, you know, happened to my family and I appreciate you, but I really have to, you know, I have to go.
Yeah.
Like handling it, you know what I mean? And it, you know.
So like women have none of this. That's what you're saying.
Well, I think that women they can be reactionary, which sometimes is, and there's some guys that do the same thing. Of course. But I think that emotion and that reactionary instinct, I think, can be good sometimes because what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about like taking a plunger and just stuffing all my problems down into my guts and then like never sharing anything with anybody.
That's bad. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's gonna probably be the most unhealthy thing you can do.
Yeah.
Regardless of food and drugs and everything else. Like it's just that, like you're going to explode. But equanimity and balancing your mind. And so this is something I've been working on for a really long time. I went and what I would say is I sort of cleaned out my closet, which I actually have to literally clean out.
You're gay now.
Yes, no, I had to make space. No, I had to make space for the closet so I could come out of it and have a grandiose entrance. But a lot of people would just be like, I knew it. I knew